Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Current Era Podcast. I am your host Julian, and today I have my brother Javar back on, and we're going to discuss NBA All-Star Weekend, upcoming Hall of Fame inductees, as well as who we feel like should be added on to the list of 50 greatest players. Now, I do want to keep this open short, but I also wanted to let you guys know that this episode was recorded over Skype. We had a few technical difficulties in the beginning, so you may hear the audio drop for a little bit, but I tried to clean it up as best I could. So the audio still sounds great, but I just wanted to inform you that you will hear it drop from time to time in the beginning, just due to some technical issues with Skype. Now, thank you everybody that listens to my podcast. I really appreciate it. I see that I have a lot of listens. I have a lot of fans. I have a lot of fans in Canada. I have a fan in Tunisia. I have a lot of fans here in the US. Thank you guys so much for listening, subscribing, and downloading. I really appreciate it. Please leave us a review. Feel free to leave us a review so I can improve the podcast. I want to get better. I want every episode to be better than the last. So please let me know your thoughts. I'm always open to suggestions. I really appreciate all the feedback that I've already gotten. And yeah, just thank you guys. It really means a lot. I do want to mention that every episode that I do, even though you guys are listening, I need you to actually download the episode. So when the episodes are downloaded, it's actually tracked by sponsors. And sponsors care about how many downloads you have per episode and things like that. So it'll really help me out, guys, if you can actually download the episode or just subscribe to the pod. And, instead of just listening, please download the episode, subscribe to the podcast. It'll really help me. It'll make sure that I can continue to do this for you. It'll make sure that the podcast will grow and that I will be able to produce more awesome content, which is what we all want. I have some exciting episodes. I don't want to reveal too much, but I've got some more TV and film episodes coming. I've got more anime episodes coming. I've got more NBA episodes coming. So stay tuned, guys. Stay on this ride with me. We're going to kill this thing, okay? So again, thank you. Download the episodes, please. And that's it. Let's get to the episode.
He's going to take off on the free throw line at the beginning now. I'll just lose it right here. I'll lose it right now, Danny.
All right, here is Vince Carter with his first stop.
Let's go home. Let's go home, ladies and
This
gentlemen.
week, I have my brother Javar back on. It is NBA All-Star break, so we have a lot to discuss. There's not any games until Thursday. Today is currently Tuesday when we are recording this. I know I'm fiending for some basketball, but I do want to get my brother in. Javar, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm doing good. How you doing over there?
I'm all right, man. I just, I missed the game. This All-Star break didn't necessarily thrill me, I guess I'll say. But I do want to get your opinion on it. We don't have to spend too much time on the All-Star, but so the first, just jumping right into it, I guess the first event was the Rising Stars Friday. Our boy Kuz got MVP. How'd you
definitely gunning for it?
Yeah, he was he was gunning. So did you watch the game, and who were some other guys that stuck out in your mind in the game?
Yeah, I watched most of it. Kuzma from the start, he was hot, and he was just, I think he hit all those threes in the first quarter, and he just gunning. I think, you could tell he was shooting for Ben Simmons. He also was gunning.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even shoot. It's a exhibition, and he didn't even shoot any jumpers. It was all just straight dunks and layups, like just taking it to the rack, like just super aggressive. Trey Young looked good out there.
He did.
He's quietly having a good year too. His shooter percentage still could be better, but
as a rookie, they're not bad though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Luka's great, but don't get it twisted. This rookie class has some guys.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, those are the main highlights. Other than that, it was just guys just running around out there.
Yeah,
It's actually kind of weird that Ben Simmons even played in
Played.
this game. What, it's like his fourth year? Was he playing in this game?
This is technically his second, I think. So, I mean,
Third.
'cause-
But yeah, he's in Ingram's draft, but technically his second because he's injured his first year. But
right, yeah. Yeah, so I guess that makes him eligible. But yeah, I mean, likewise, I watched pretty much the whole game. Like you said, Kuz was definitely gunning for it from jump. He was chucking it. I like that John Collins was out there trying to do some nice dunks. I think he caught a nice lob. He had a good reverse dunk. But other than that,
yeah.
it was boring. Typical run and gun.
Dunks. Tatum was good out there. Luka was out there having fun.
Yeah, definitely.
He was just out there smiling the whole time. Like.
Luka's a character. And I guess that kind of helps me lead into the skills challenge. So in the skills challenge, he faced Trae Young in the second round of that. And this guy, he pulls up from half court to make the shot and win to move on. Did you see that? It was crazy.
Actually, he lost.
He lost that round? Which one did he pull up from? Oh, he missed the shot. You're right. It was Tatum that did the half court and made it.
So, no, yeah, Tatum did it from half court and made it. But Luka, he was the first one who did it against our boy Kuzma.
Yes.
And he missed it. And then Kuzma missed his shot. And then Luka just made his second shot quicker than Kuzma could get his up. So, but yeah, Luka was the first one to try that. Trae Young, he threw the ball, like to beat Luka, he threw the ball way ahead of himself and like ran up the catch. Isn't that a travel? I don't know. But...
Well, not really. He gave himself an outlet pass, technically. So, no, not really.
It's a self-pass. You can't do that.
Well, if you catch it off the root, yeah, you're right. He can't do that. But who cares? There's no rules in the skills challenge.
Yeah, whatever.
And then in the three-point shootout, they had there was some great competition. To be honest, I'm not surprised.
I love the 3-point shootout.
Yeah, I'm not surprised Joe Harris won, to be honest, because I remember when we faced him when they played us, and he was destroying us. But were you surprised by the outcome at all?
Well, I guess I'm a little more casual on Joe Harris. I didn't know he was like that. I know his percentages are pretty high, so I guess he's that guy. But yeah, I know who he is now. But the 3-point shootout year after year is like usually ends up being the best event out of the Saturday night.
Yeah, I agree.
They should add another round, but it was and or add more people to the second round. It felt like how do you have like 9 people and cut it to 3 in the second round?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good, man. Curry got hot. It's crazy that he actually lost to Joe Harris. Joe Harris shot just enough. Curry missed. Curry he made like his last 9 straight, something like that, and then got to the money ball rack. He made like his first 3 straight, missed his 4th, and made his 5th. He needed to go perfect in the money ball rack. It was that close. But yeah, it was good, man. Did you see the flabby and sit contest with the old folks in Brazil?
Yes, I did.
Some of the greatest shooters of all time just bricking. Like, what is going on? Ray Allen, he couldn't make nothing.
Yeah, Ray Allen, Mark Price, who was it? Glenn Rice and
Glenn Rice. Oh my God,
Dale Curry.
He is the definition of flabby and sick. Glenn Rice, boy. Stop eating.
Oh man.
Man, no offense to my big folks out there, but.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to see them guys go out there and just straight clanking out there, boy. They couldn't hit nothing. They had like 7 or 8 points combined. It was pathetic. But yeah, I mean, it's for charity, quote unquote. So just a quick segue off of that, talking about all these great 3-point shooters and all the current ones. If I had to put you on the spot and ask you, who would you say is the best shooter you've ever seen?
Oh, it has to be Steph Curry, like no question.
Really? Why? Why?
Well, because he can shoot off the dribble, off the catch, off the pick or screen, I should say. He has a super quick release. His volume is high. His percentages are high. Like we haven't seen anything like a shooter like Steph. But who else could it be? I mean, he doesn't win every 3-point shootout contest, but like when they're talking about in a game, it's like not even close.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I just wanted to get your take. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, there's nobody that I would take over Steph in terms of shooting the basketball. From, I mean, like you said, from spotting up to off the dribble to 3-point range to beyond 3-point range to mid range. I mean, this guy, he's incredible when it comes to shooting the basketball, and we're like witnessing history right now. Like, you know, when he's done, we're gonna look back at like, wow, this guy, you know, there's not gonna be anybody like him. I mean, and, you know, there's guys that can shoot. I mean, Clay can shoot, Ray Allen can shoot, Reggie Miller can shoot, but you know, people like Steph are a dime a dozen, man. So
yeah, we're kind of numb to it because we just witnessed it all, you know, just happening before us. This guy just shooting these shots like it's normal.
Right.
But still, there's, you know, only a few guys in the league now that can shoot anything close as well off the dribble, but they're still not really close. So I just wonder, like, the evolution of basketball, like, is Steph Curry just gonna be one of a kind forever, or is there gonna be someone? Is that gonna be like more normal as kids try to emulate him and try to play like him? And, you know, this new era of basketball where they influence that, are guys just gonna be just like incredibly wet from outside, like off the dribble and just like quick release? Is that just gonna be the norm? Guys shooting 30, 40 footers. It's just interesting.
I sure hope not. But I mean, that's going to take away from, you know, the excitement and the joy of it. I mean, I still remember that 2015, 2016 season. Steph Curry was must-see TV every night, and that was the year that he won unanimous MVP. They won 73 games. The year right before they got KD, but it was the Steph Curry show. I mean, this dude, every game he was just destroying people, and he was pulling up from anywhere. He was averaging 30 off of like 8 threes a game. It was just wild. That season was marred by them losing in the finals, 3-1. Anyway, what'd you think of the dunk contest? Was there anything? I mean, what's up with we're letting these G League guys and these bench warming scrubs sit in the history books for slam dunk contests, like Jeremy Evans, Hamidou Diallo, and I mean, like, it's not great, man. Yeah, man, the dunk contest is a real problem. They can never consistently put out a field that people care about. Like you said, like John Collins, Hamidou Diallo, who are these guys? Like,
John Collins might be a all-star one day. You know, he actually put up numbers.
I mean, but he's now.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's nothing now. I mean, and I can't even remember the other two guys. Oh, hold on, Bridges. I don't even.
Junior and Miles Bridges. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, that dunk that John Collins tried to do over the airplane was pathetic. That was just pathetic. I mean, my goodness. And then the Diallo dunk that everybody loved, where he jumped over Shaq and put his arm in the rim. I mean, it was okay, but I don't know. They need to have stars. Like the dunk contest used to mean something. Like, people used to care about it, but now it's, I don't know. It's basically, they need to, you know, they need to move the 3-point shootout to the last event of the night. They need to make that the main event, because the 3-point shootout has been more exciting. Aside from the year Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine went back to back, I mean, the 3-point shootout has been better every year than a dunk contest, in my opinion.
Do you think that's mostly because the dunk contest doesn't get stars? Like, do you think having stars will make a difference? Because, you know, it's not like guys are going to be able to do too much more dunks that people haven't thought of, you know? So,
right, but I mean,
star and, you know, the hype around that.
Exactly.
More exciting.
Yeah. I mean, listen, like, if you go back and watch some of the dunk contests, Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins and Spud Webb, like, they weren't doing nothing incredible, but they're stars. So
at the time, it was incredible, though.
Man, that crap was not incredible. I mean, okay, maybe at the time, but those little windmills that Dominique used to do, like, bro, like,
nobody was doing that back then. You know, that's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, still, like, that's not a 50 anymore. So,
oh my God.
But he got the 50 because it's Dominique. That's my point, because he's a star. I mean, we need stars back in there to to make people care about it, because right now the dunk contest is suffering. It's almost irrelevant in my opinion. But that's just, I don't know. It's my 2 cents. So did you watch the All-Star game on Sunday?
Passingly, I really don't have much takeaways from the All-Star game, and that's a whole nother issue in itself. I mean,
Yes,
I
it
don't
is.
know what they can do. Last year, it was actually kind of, for the All-Star game, it was actually kind of exciting last year. It was the first time they did the draft. This year, they just went back to being all blase and casual, and
Mm-hmm.
just wasn't a lot of energy in Charlotte. Really, the whole weekend, it was kind of whack. You could just tell, it just wasn't it. I don't know what
Yeah.
it was, but the vibe wasn't there.
I was about to say, like, do you think it was because it was in Charlotte, or do you think just because, guys are back to, hey, I don't care, trying to trying to go on vacation type mode?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could think of is, well, no, I would say because it's been in better places before, and it just hasn't been exciting either. So I don't know. I think that's just this generation of guys. They're not that competitive in
Hmm.
these All-Star games. I mean, it's just all fun and games, and they just don't really want to be there. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, the All-Star game has, again, I mean, kind of like the dunk contest, it's been suffering for the past few years. I mean, that's why they made the big change to, not have the East versus West, but the team LeBron and the team Giannis. So,
Like
I
guys play harder in like the pro-ams over the summer. You ever watch the
yeah,
the Drew League and
Drew
stuff like
League.
guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, guys play harder than that. I mean, it's a shame. So I mean, basically, they just want to take a break in the season. They don't really want to do this. Maybe it feels in the off season, but
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah.
That
I
was the
mean,
purpose, I guess, of having like you could still have a break in the middle of the season, but it just wouldn't be the same without the All Star game and festivities. And maybe in the off season, guys wouldn't want to do that either. I don't know. It's just a catch-22. Because even like the award show, like LeBron didn't go. Like he didn't have full participation.
yeah, LeBron's not ruining his summer to go to some crap like that. Um, yeah. So okay. So speaking about the All-Star game, All-Star game has had, the greatest players ever play in it. Um, Again, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, but if you had to, what would be your all-time starting five?
All-time starting five. So I would go Kobe, Jordan, Magic, LeBron, and Shaq. So I'm having
Damn.
LeBron at the four, Magic at the
Yeah.
three, or with the one. I don't know, just Kobe and Shaq, Magic, LeBron, all y'all ball handlers, and then have Shaq just hold it down.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
my
missing
goodness.
I'm missing outside shooting. Like if I could have Curry come off the bench.
No, you only get five.
All right, so Curry and for Kobe.
Whoa! Wow. Yeah, see, that's dead. See, I had Steph.
Sacrilegious.
You said what?
It's sacrilegious.
Yes, very. See, I had Steph, Kobe, MJ, Bron, and Shaq. So, I mean, to me, the Magic and Steph debate, and people
Are
try
you
to make it seem
calling
like,
Are you calling Curry the GOAT point guard right now?
yes, yes, bro. Stephen Curry is the greatest point guard of all time, dog. And listen, hear me out. Hear me
Whoa,
out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
whoa,
Because yeah, look,
whoa.
because
You're
I
going against
know,
five-time MVP, five-time champion,
bro,
three-time Finals MVP.
bro. We're talking about an individual performer. Now, first of all,
I'm sorry,
Magic,
three-time
Magic,
MVP, not five, but yeah.
Magic, five-time champion. Yeah, Magic is already done, right? Steph is not done. So who's to say that those accolades won't match
Or
when they're
talk to
done?
me when he's done. Then talk to me when he's done. You can't talk about
Yes, I can.
potential. We can't
Yes, I
talk
can.
about potential. No.
No, I'm not. Listen, if Steph didn't play another game in the NBA, I would pick Stephen Curry over Magic, and here's why. So Steph, obviously, we know the shooting respect he gets, but that gravity that he pulls in when he has the ball, that is so infectious for a team, and having somebody like Steph on your team will make the game easier for everybody else that's on the floor. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that Magic doesn't have a similar effect. He does. I mean, he was a 6'10" point guard, but Steph affects the game in a different way than Magic. And especially if we're talking about eras, like if we're talking about now, bruh, Magic, I don't know if Magic would be as great in this era. I mean, he couldn't shoot. I mean, sure, he's a 6'10" point guard, but he wasn't relatively fast. He wasn't relatively athletic. So it's not like he would be a Ben Simmons.
To say he couldn't shoot, though, that's not right. He could shoot. Later in his career, he developed a consistent 3-point shot. He just, the 80s, they didn't shoot threes. But he had a decent mid-range shot. He wasn't Ben Simmons out there. He could shoot. He was basically like a less athletic Giannis. So, with like better court vision.
So yeah, give me Steph. That's my opinion. I mean, I'd take Steph. But yeah, let's move on. So, so we know back in the 90s, early 90s, I want to say it was 96, they released the greatest 50 players of all time. And I tasked you with coming up with the next 10. So I want you to add on to the list of 50. So these guys are the greatest players of all time. I have 10 people on my list. I want to hear your list first, though. So who are the next 10 best players in your opinion?
All right. So, let me know what you just want to hear them all, and then let me know.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So Kobe.
Obviously.
LeBron.
Obviously.
Duncan.
Obviously.
Iverson.
Obviously.
KG.
Yes, sir.
Dirk.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then I got Curry.
Yes, sir.
I got Durant.
Yes, sir.
All right. I have Dwayne Wade.
Yes, sir.
Three-time champion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And my last pick is Steve Nash.
Ooh. Okay. I didn't expect Steve Nash from you. I mean, I'm a huge Steve Nash guy, so I mean, I can't say I disagree with that, but he was not my 10th guy.
Let me explain why.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he was on the bubble for me. I could have picked Dominique Wilkins,
mm-hmm.
Gary Payton,
mm-hmm.
Jason Kidd. I mean, there's
Reggie Miller. Yep.
No, Reggie Miller is not anywhere close.
Okay.
But yeah. But he's a 2-time MVP, and he influenced the current era we're playing in right now. His sons and D'Antoni's sons, they influenced the modern era with the 7 seconds or less. Now that's how everybody wants to play. Now we're even faster than they used to play. Like Steph Curry is basically Steve Nash on steroids.
Yeah. Steph Curry has patterned his game after Nash.
Yeah, with like less passing and more shooting, which is probably what Nash should have done, since he honestly is one of the greatest shooters of all time. He just didn't shoot a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, to me, I labor over that one, but really, when you look at the resume compared to the people below him, it's really not close. Unless you talk about more guys like currently, like if Harden wins MVP this year, averaging 40 freaking points a game or something, then that's going to go down in history books as something different. I mean, we'll talk about future guys. So give me your list. What prefer? I mean, we there had to be at least 8 locks, right? I mean,
9. So I had. Let me pull my list back up. So I had everybody you had except Steve Nash. So I had Kobe, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, Durant, Steph, AI, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Dirk. And my last one was hard, man. So I had Dominique and I had T-Mac, and I'm gonna go with T-Mac as my 10th guy because for me, my era of watching basketball, T-Mac was like one of the first guys that I saw that was dominating the game. Like T-Mac was like originally my favorite player. Like back when he was with Orlando, he was averaging 30. Like couldn't nobody stop him. T-Mac was a monster. I mean, obviously, injuries derailed his career, but couldn't nobody do nothing with him on the court. I mean, that dude was a freak in nature, and that's why I feel like he should be the 10th guy.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate for T-Mac though. He was always injured. He can't control that, but
Mm-hmm.
he's injured, and he never made it out the first round until like his last year or two with the Spurs when they went to the
Mm-hmm.
finals and lost to the Heat. He couldn't get out in the first round, man. Like that has to count against him, right? He didn't win an MVP. He won two scoring titles, or was it just one? Might just
I think it was
might
just
have been, I
one.
think it was two. It was just one. Okay. So he could fill them up, and like he basically was like doing the same things Kobe could do. Like he was almost a mirror image,
Mm-hmm.
just like taller. Um, I think that's literally what Kobe said in the interview with Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, that is what he said.
So yeah, I would love T Mac. It sucked that he got hurt. I remember the heated T Mac versus Kobe debates for me back in high school.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we have to leave. To me, I had to leave him off. I had to leave off Pierce, Ray Allen.
Oh God.
I'm just talking about guys who were superstars in our current era.
Sure. I don't know. Paul Pierce doesn't. To me, Paul Pierce is not the same breadth as those guys. Even though he's a champion, Finals MVP. As far as
No,
pure talent, I don't
to
think
me,
he's in there.
he had a better resume than T Mac. He got a championship, a Finals MVP, and
Yeah,
he had
but
more longevity, more health, and he averaged like 25 most of his career too. He didn't have the highs, the peak like T Mac, but he had more consistency and better accolades.
okay. So that goes into the next category that I want to discuss with you, which is the Hall of Fame. So, to me, championships don't necessarily make a Hall of Famer. To me, talent is what makes a Hall of Famer. Um, so, which
How?
is why I had T
How?
Mac
The game?
over. Huh?
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, that's why I had T Mac over Paul Pierce. Um, and I promise that this has nothing to do with me being a Laker fan and hating the Celtics. As far as talent goes, I mean, if Paul Pierce and T Mac had switched teams, I feel like the Celtics would have been even better. T Mac was better in every aspect of the game than Paul Pierce was. But Paul Pierce had, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Rondo and Kendrick Perkins to help him win a championship. So, it's not like Paul Pierce ever did anything before before he had them. I mean, he was struggling in Boston.
I mean, he went to the Eastern Conference Finals before.
So
That's better than T Mac. He couldn't get out the first round in
he
the
was hurt,
East
man. He was
or the
hurt.
West. Yeah, whatever. As a superstar, at some point you got to get out the first round. First of all, you're supposed to be able to make the playoffs, and then second of all, you're supposed to at least be able to get out of the first round if you're a top 5 guy. I mean, I don't know. That was always the knock that us Kobe stands had against T Mac. So I'm still waving the flag today. But yeah, to me, I mean, I get what you're saying. To me, that more weighs into account when we're talking about ranking guys like, you know, top 5, top 10. Like to me, that's my argument to why Kobe is like top 5 to me. Like you telling me like Larry Bird can beat him 1-on-1? I mean, I don't know.
Never. No, never.
So exactly. So I mean, and that's not to not Larry Bird because he was fantastic too. I've seen a lot of his clips, his highlights, his numbers are incredible. But it's not the
Come on.
same. Like
Yeah, come on,
yeah,
man.
like is Oscar Robertson gonna check Kobe? I mean, so to
Come on
me,
now.
yeah, to me it's different. Same with like Shaq. Like Shaq is ranked higher to me. I mean, he would absolutely dominate Bill Russell. I mean,
Yes.
sorry, I'm sorry, but it
He
would not
would.
be. So yeah, so I get what you're saying, but just to get into the Hall of Fame, the criteria to me is you do have to weigh in some kind of longevity, some kind of career achievements. That does matter. Like that's what separates, say, a Manu Ginobili, who is a Hall of Famer, to like a Ricky Davis or something. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Or Anton Jameson or Gilbert Arenas, guys who just put up numbers that had a Actually, look at Anton Jameson. That's a prime example. Or like Joe Johnson, guys who put up numbers for 12 years, multiple time All Stars, but they didn't win nothing. But how do you really rank them? Should they be Hall of Famers? There's guys who are in the Hall of Fame with less numbers, way less numbers. There's guys in the Hall of Fame averaging like, you know, like Dennis Rodman, he had crazy rebound numbers, but he wasn't like a big
Defensive
time
Player of the
scorer.
Year.
Yeah, he had accolades. I'm trying to think of a good example. I had to like pull up Basketball Reference or something. But if next time you get any listeners, look at the Basketball Reference Hall of Fame list and just look at some of the accolades for some of the obscure guys. Like there's guys in there who just like so you would think if you compare some guys that made the Hall of Fame, like why wouldn't Joe Johnson make it? He had a good 8-9 years of averaging over 22, 23 points a game. Anton Jameson, Antoine Walker, he had a stint. Chris Webber, he should have been first ballot.
I agree.
He's sneaking in now, right? Or he made the finalists.
Mm-hmm, he did.
So yeah, I mean, so career achievements have to matter.
Right, but I mean, championships doesn't define a Hall of Famer. That was my whole point. Just because you don't win a championship doesn't mean anything.
Yes, and there's a flip side of like a Robert Horry who's got 7 championships.
Right. Yeah.
Not a Hall of Famer. Derek Fisher, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
So I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's essentially my whole point because Robert Horry won multiple championships with multiple teams. Derek Fisher won 5 with the Lakers, but their talent isn't good enough to get them into being with the best of the best. But there are guys like T-Mac, like C. Webb, like Charles Barkley, like Reggie Miller, like guys that led their franchise, guys that were the man in their respective cities. They were not lucky enough to ever win a championship, but their talent warrants them to being in the Hall of Fame. And that's my whole argument. To me, championships shouldn't make or break a Hall of Fame case. I mean, if that was the case, guys like Steve Nash and Charles Barkley, they wouldn't. Allen Iverson, they would never be in the Hall of Fame.
No, they're different because they at least won MVPs, and those are significant awards. But you can't just I mean, it has to have some kind of significance. Like this needs to be encapsulating an era. Like it can't just be just the stars of the era. I mean, yeah, sure, they should be Hall of Famers, but like this is basically my argument against Joe Johnson. Like he. Put up numbers, but he's not like relevant in 20 years. Only, we will remember him, but okay, in 100 years, nobody remember him. He's not going to be in the record books. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to be. Yeah. So winning that when you win championships, or if you're a relevant winner, you're in the record books. They write biographies about you. You're relevant. You have Wikipedia pages.
Right.
So it does matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
yeah. Okay, so what about first ballot Hall of Famers? People like to talk about, this guy will or will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I'm gonna throw some names at you, and you tell me yay or nay, and tell me why. So the first one I have is Kobe.
Oh yeah, for sure, unanimous.
Yeah.
What 5-time champion, MVP, 2-time Finals MVP. Third in scoring, right? Or is it
third?
Second?
He's
third, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I was being facetious.
One of the greatest of all time, at the least top 10. I mean, I will not accept anything less than top 10 to me.
Top 5.
To me, is my personal top 5. But there's so many great players. I can understand. If you got him outside of that, but top 10 is outside of top 10 is ridiculous to me. And I've heard some people say that, and it really pisses me off.
That's disrespectful. Okay, what about Dirk? First ballot.
Yeah, for sure. First ballot. I mean, that 2011 championship, man, that was one of the greatest single performances for an entire playoffs that I've ever seen, like in my life. Like Dirk was just on one.
They killed us, man. Oh my goodness.
They killed everybody. They killed us. They killed the Thunder. They got through the Spurs.
And the
Heat. Yeah, so Dirk for sure. He's got this signature fadeaway, the greatest European player of all time.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, like for everything he meant for Europe and Germany, being an Olympic medalist over there in Germany, playing Euroball. Dirk is a legend. There's no question in my mind he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. What about Tim Duncan?
Tim Duncan, arguably the greatest power forward of all time, even though he mostly played center to me, but whatever. Yeah, for sure. First ballot Hall of Fame. 5-time champion, 2-time MVP, surprisingly never won Defensive Player of the Year, even though he was one of the greatest defensive players in his entire career up to the day he retired. He was great right out the gate. You know,
Yep.
a rookie. I think he averaged 22 and 12 or something like that. Like
Something crazy like that.
Yeah, without a doubt, Mr. Spur.
I know, right? He was there for what 20 years, wasn't he? Just like Kobe. I
think 19.
He played 19.
Yeah, because he retired the same year as Kobe, but he didn't
announce it.
He didn't start the same year as Kobe. He started in 97. 98, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. What about Ben Wallace? Ben Wallace is up for the Hall of Fame this year. What do you think about Ben Wallace's chances?
I don't know about first ballot. I think he will make it eventually, but he was a late bloomer. It took him a while in his career to get going, to make an impact, and then it took a couple more years to become a star. And then he was one of the greatest defensive players of, definitely of an era. I want to say 3 or 4 time Defensive Player of the Year, monster rebound and block stats.
Yeah,
and he was only like 6'8".
Yeah, he was short, but he was swole, boy.
That boy was swole, at country swole, cornbread.
Yes.
But now I don't know about first ballot, but I think he will get in eventually for sure.
Okay. What about Kevin Garnett?
First ballot. Yep. First ballot. One of the greatest power forwards of all time. One of the greatest defensive players of all time.
He's a dog.
Player of the Year, champion. Yeah, he's a dog. He's an MVP. Hey, Archie. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, no doubt. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's only Ben Wallace is the only one. No, so far. You got any more? I got a few that I'd like to throw at you.
Go ahead.
And okay, these are more so like curveballs. I don't want to give you these meatballs right down the pipe for you to hit a home run. What about Klay Thompson? Because we know Curry and Durant, right? First ballot, right?
Yes.
What about Thompson?
Man, so Clay's an interesting case because, I mean, the dude holds the record for most threes in a playoff game, most threes in a regular season game, most points in a quarter. He scored 60 multiple times. He's a 3-time champ, going for 4. I mean, he's an awesome defender, but I think it's too soon to say first ballot for Klay. And really, the only reason I say that is because he's had Steph by his side the entire time, and Steph is obviously the better of the two. So, the game is so easy for Klay right now because he doesn't have the same workload as those other guys. I mean, in terms of raw ability, I think that he could carry a franchise if he was given the keys. But because he hasn't done it, and because he's only 7 or 8 years in, it's kind of early for me to say first ballot, even though he has all these accolades. He needs to put in some more work before I can say that about first ballot. I mean, he's obviously going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to have a statue. He's going to get his jersey retired. But to me, first ballot, that means you got to be the man at some point in your career. So I can't say first ballot.
I asked this because Ray Allen was a first ballot Hall of Famer. And who do you think is the better shooter between Ray Allen and Klay Thompson? I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Ray Allen, that's tough.
Ray Allen was the man with Seattle and Milwaukee, but he won a championship as more of a second, third option.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's that's my whole argument. At least Ray Allen showed that he could carry a franchise. I mean, when they were in Seattle, they were good. When they were in Milwaukee, they were a playoff team. So, and he was the leader of that. He was the franchise guy. Sure, when he went to Boston, he was the number 2 or number 3. But he was still serviceable. I mean, he still did his job. So, I'm not mad at Ray Allen being a first ballot Hall of Famer. But Klay needs to have that opportunity to lead his own franchise before I can say that about him. As far as who's the better shooter,
he had that one playoff series where in 2015-16, where Steph Curry was out. He had a playoff series and a half, right, where him and Draymond were the only guys against, someone say against Portland. And no, actually they beat somebody before Portland, because that Portland was a series where Steph came back.
New Orleans.
Was it New Orleans?
Maybe.
No, it wasn't New Orleans. That was the year before. But yeah, basically Clay had a period of time in the playoffs where he showed he can do it. But yeah, for a whole season, that might be a different story. I just wanted to throw that one at you. And then we got guys like Westbrook. I guess he's a lock, right? First ballot. Harden. I mean, records these guys are putting up, the numbers. I mean, it's kind of
so tough. Russell Westbrook. I mean, the ability this guy has, and first of all, guys, for anybody that's listening, I am not the hugest Russell Westbrook fan, and I absolutely hate James Harden, but I'm a basketball fan, and I respect talent. Russell Westbrook is a dog. His game is incredible. He does not stop. This dude is a walking triple double, even though he's stat pads. He knows what he can do, and he does it well. Russell Westbrook, first ballot Hall of Famer, easy. James Harden. I mean, what has he really done besides win MVP though? So.
I mean, he's averaging like 37 points a game.
Man.
Like this, yeah. I mean, a year ago I would have never thought this, but like, it's unbelievable. Like, I hate it, but because I'm a hater as well, listeners. Not as radical as Julian, but I'm a rational James Harden hater. I don't like how he plays. I would hate to be a teammate on his team, sitting there in the corner hoping he passed me the ball with 3 seconds left on the clock. It's not fun basketball for me to watch. And this is funny. I mean, I miss the ISO era from the 2000s and the 90s and stuff, Kobe era, but not like this, not to this extent. At least Kobe ran a triangle and ran some kind of offense, ran around a little bit, let guys dribble the ball the court. Like James Harden does everything. I would hate to be on his team, but yeah, ran over.
He's not a first ballot, not at this point. No, I can't call him that. I mean, I'm sure that when his career is done, he will be first ballot material, but at this point, absolutely not.
All right, one more. Kyrie is a guy who does not have an MVP or a Finals MVP or nothing. He's just champion.
So
legendary championship team.
Right. No, there's no way. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, not yet. Now, Kyrie is the guy that, again, he has the talent, he has a championship, he has the ability to win MVP. He's shown that he can lead a team with Boston, but he's like 25, 26. Like, he's too young. Like he has to do more in the league, and he has to have some type of longevity for me to say that he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, in 10 years, when he's almost done, I'm sure he's going to have a, first ballot Hall of Fame career. But, I mean, I can't tell the future. So, I mean, as of right now, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, no.
Okay, one more Hall of Fame curveball. Derrick Rose, will he make the Hall of Fame? The youngest MVP ever, and then had a tragic injury, and his career kind of just faded to black, and now had a revival. But
right.
Will it be enough? Will he make All-Star game again? Will he, get back to that type of level to push his resume up to a Hall of Fame level? I mean, maybe he might win Sixth Man of the Year this year. I don't know.
Yeah. Derrick Rose is an extremely interesting case because, like you said, the youngest MVP ever. That run he had in 2010, 2011 was just fantastic. That playoff series. Man, it's just tragic how he went down. But, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, but Derrick Rose will definitely get it.
Okay, I just mean just at all.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Derrick Rose. So, like, again,
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's for sure, man. I really don't.
What? Well, I mean, this season, what he's done, he's coming back from that, dropping 50. He almost made the All-Star team. He would have made it if it was up to the fans. I mean, he's having a great year. He's averaging like 19 a game. I mean, Minnesota is not terrible. They're right behind us in the playoff race. So, I mean, and Derrick Rose is a huge part of that. So I don't know. I mean, it's not like he hasn't been into the playoffs. He's been in the Eastern Conference Finals. He's hit a game winners in the Eastern Conference Finals. He's been the man of his team. He's been the MVP. He's averaged a lot of points. He's been to the All-Star game. He's won an Olympic gold medal. I mean, the guy has a resume a mile long. I mean, sure, the injuries have, that took away a chunk of his career, but what he's doing now, battling back from that speaks to me. So I say yes.
Yes, I guess if they let T-Mac in, I guess they'll
Right.
let
Yeah. I mean, shoot, if you go let T-Mac in, you gotta let Derrick Rose in. Exactly. All right. So let's move on to some Lakers, Lake Show, baby. So, boy, this post All-Star break, we have some work to do. Right now, we're 28 and 29. We're 10th in the West, 3 games out of the 8th seed. My goodness, we play on Thursday. All right, so, and I specifically wrote down these next few games just because to me, the schedule isn't that bad. I mean, I saw on ESPN that we're projected to have like the 6th toughest schedule going forward, so maybe those games are all in March. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, we got Houston coming up. We're at New Orleans, at Memphis, play New Orleans again, got Milwaukee, Phoenix, the Clippers, Denver, Boston. Then we go on a 5-game trip. But out of those games I just mentioned, like I see maybe 2 losses, maybe, and that's Milwaukee and Denver, maybe. But
I mean, how can you say that? Like, the team that we saw the last week or two limping into the All-Star break, if that's the team that comes out of the All-Star break, how can you say that?
because I don't think that is the team that's going to come out of the All-Star break. I said last time we talked that LeBron-led teams historically are awful right before the All-Star break because he cakewalks to it because he needs that break, and then after they're a different ball club, especially LeBron. This is the time of the year that LeBron turns it on. Mike Trudell actually tweeted out a stat earlier. Last year, LeBron was averaging like 25 a game going into the All-Star break, and then he pushed it up to 30 a game after the All-Star break. I mean, that's just how LeBron rolls. Like when it gets close to All-Star break, he shuts down because he's what's funny? He was the main one complaining that the All-Star break wasn't long enough, and then he got them to lengthen it. So he looks forward to it, and then after he turns it on. So that's what I'm expecting.
Are we just supposed to accept this behavior?
I mean, what else can we do? He's LeBron. He controls everything. So, unfortunately, yes, we don't have a choice but to accept it. I mean, as Laker fans, as Kobe fans, seeing Kobe play through anything, we're used to seeing guys give it 110% all times, but that's just not who LeBron is, and we have to accept it.
Is it too much after my superstar to try and give a performance every night?
It seems like it.
That Hawks game just really left a sour taste in my mouth that has not escaped me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not high on the Lakers right now. I don't know, man. I got to see it. And honestly, I'm really worried about the defense. Since Lonzo got hurt, the defense has just been just cratered. I mean, I want to say we're like bottom 3 in the league in defensive efficiency since Lonzo's been hurt. And we have not gotten an update. It's been over 3 weeks. They said 3 to 6 weeks was his right? 3 to 6 weeks was his
I think it was 4 to 6.
4 to 6, okay. Well, hopefully we'll hear something soon. I mean, I said the whole time I'm expecting more so like 6 to 8 than 4 to 6 because the Lakers always undersell the injuries. They're always worse than what they say. Especially since Magic and Rob Pelinka took over.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron was day to day, and that turns into 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Last year, when Lonzo hurt his knee, he was supposed to just be day to day, right, or like a week or 2. That turned into a month, and so on and so forth. So I have no faith in their medical staff. So we'll see. We'll see in mid-March when he gets back, and maybe he'll be able to get his rhythm back and help the defense, and hopefully his offensive game will be back as well. But, yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just not that optimistic until I see it. Like you said, the schedule is soft for the next week or 2. It'll look like a good 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
We should Look, we can't let Houston sweep us. If we lose to Houston, they'll beat us 4 times this year. That's not what's up. So it's at home. We need to beat them. We need to go to New Orleans, let Anthony Davis do an inside job in New Orleans. Memphis is tanking. We can't lose to more tanking teams. Gosh darn it. I'm tired of it. We lost to the Knicks, the Hawks,
the Nets, the Cavs.
And like, come on, it's open season.
Yeah.
And then versus New Orleans, Anthony Davis, come on, get this wine down by LeBron. Come on out to dinner. Home versus Milwaukee, that is an automatic L.
Yeah, they're going to kill us.
At Phoenix, I mean, again, can't lose the tanking teams. Versus Clippers at home. I don't know what the Clippers are doing. If they're trying to lose, they're trying to, they're tanking. If they're trying to make playoffs, they gave away Tobias Harris for picks. That's what tanking teams do. But they seem to be pains in our butts, so that's kind of iffy. And then Denver at home. Denver is not a great road team, so we might be able to beat them, but they're second in the West, so no telling. Maybe we'll have a rhythm by then. And then home versus Boston. We always turn up for Boston. So yeah, like you said, we should be able to put together a good stretch here. I just railed off like 7 games. If we could, like, right now Milwaukee is a loss, and if we could maybe only take one other loss, it'd be fantastic. 3 losses in that swing. That'd be also fantastic. But we can't take much more losses. 17-8 gets us to 45 wins?
Yep.
So, I mean, that might get the 8 seed. So we got to get going. We really don't have a lot of time. 25 games left. I don't know. Honestly, man, I'm not that optimistic about making the playoffs. Like, honestly, like I said, I got to see it. LeBron, history says he turns it up, but history, so at some point it catches up to you. And this has been a crazy season. Like, we dug ourselves a hole. The Kings are ahead of us. They're not going away. And like I said, the Clippers, I don't know what they're doing. The Spurs are 7th seed. They're kind of iffy, but they have 2 all-star quality talents. So we figure they're going to try to make the playoffs. They're not just going to tank. And Greg Popovich coaching. So best case scenario, we might be able to squeeze into the 7th seed if we put on a streak and LeBron just goes supernova and some young guys get it going. Somehow we get some stops, but just the way this season's been going, I don't know what to pin my tail on.
Interesting.
6 weeks ago, we were freaking on top of the world, right? Like around Christmas, we were 4th seed and everything was going right. I was just in a tailspin. We went from like the best of times to the worst of times. The best case scenario to the worst case scenario. Now we just shipped off Zubats for nothing from Muscala. Mike Beasley is off to China.
Yep.
Carmelo is like just in purgatory. I don't know what we're gonna do with this roster spot. I don't know what's going on anymore. So just a weird times right now.
When's the deadline to sign guys?
I think we got a couple more weeks. I don't know the exact date though.
Man, I cannot be as pessimistic as you, because if I am, then it's just going to ruin my mood. I mean, I have to believe that the Lakers can make a push to get into the playoffs, whether it's the 8th, 7th, 6th, whatever. We've got to get there. I mean, it seems like every time I bet against LeBron, I end up looking like a fool. So I'm going to side with him this time. And hopefully he can do what he's meant to do, or what he came here for, and that's, make us good and get us in the playoffs. So, yeah.
I guess this is me, my way of preparing for the letdown.
Nah, I hear you.
So I don't know. I hope not, man, because it would get ugly really quick. LeBron would get it from all different kind of ways. He wouldn't have, like Laker fans would be going at him, the media would be going at him. Only his stands that migrate with him from team the team would have his back.
Yeah, it'd
And it would
definitely be a
look
mark on
bad
his
to
career.
Magic. It would look bad to the Lakers in general that, this guy had 8 straight finals and he goes to the Lakers and can't even make the playoffs. Oh, your young core is really trash, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, we really don't need this. So,
Okay, so speaking on the playoffs, playoffs are coming up middle of April. Hopefully we're going to be there, but as it stands, the playoffs are in a format that has been in for a while. As far as you get the best 8 teams from the East, get the best 8 teams from the West. They battle it out. Um, but a lot of people feel like there needs to be a change in the playoff structure. Are you one of those people, or do you have a problem with the current playoff format?
yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, I think these days with how the conferences are lined up, like so many teams in the West are just better ran and have better teams. I mean, and I don't know if this might just be a thing that ebbs and flows in eras as ownership changes or what, but the West has been so much better than the East in like the last 20 years. It's a shame teams can win 50 games and not make the playoffs.
Right.
Like, just not that's not cool. We should have the best teams in the playoffs. It's the most high visibility time for the sport. We should have the best teams competing for the championship, right? So yeah, I think we should realign 1 versus 16 without taking conferences into account. Maybe conferences can get like if you win a division or whatever, you get a higher seeding. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's time, man. Like with these guys flying charter flights, luxury flights. Even if they have to fly from Portland to my Atlanta for a playoff series, it wouldn't be that bad. I mean, come on, they can give them a travel day. They give them a travel day in between. They do 2 games at one location, then a travel day, then 2 games in another location, a
Hmm.
travel day, 1 game and travel day. It's back and forth, and then like the conference finals and finals, they give these guys like 3-4 days off. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, man. I
or or at least have some kind of more regional tournament, regional playoffs or something instead of like regional until it gets to the conference finals or something similar to like NCAA. I don't know how they do that. Maybe just like uh, four teams in a bucket per division. I don't know. Maybe that probably just best to do 1 versus 16. But yeah, some kind of realignment. I think we're pretty overdue for it.
Yeah, so essentially your main concern is making sure that the best teams actually make it. So I mean, just because, the one team's in the West, if they win 50 games, they shouldn't be penalized just because they're in the Western Conference. And, there's only 4 teams with winning records in the East, but the other 4 are going to make it because they're in the East.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to get a 6 seed with like a losing record
Yeah.
and be able to get a 6 seed just because you're in the East. What kind of crap is that? Who
Yeah,
wants to
no.
see that? Like they're just gonna get mollywopped in the first round anyway, right? Like
Yeah.
that's not even competitive. That's just a waste of waste of playoff space. Waste of. I mean, we're gonna talk about what makes the playoff special. That's not special. Everybody knows it's gonna be a beatdown.
No, yeah, I agree. And yeah, I mean, you kind of just touched on it a little bit, but the playoffs for me, they are so special because that's when the best of the best come to compete, and they come to compete every night. You get a chance to game plan for your opponent. You get a chance to really lock in. You're not coming off a back to back. You're not coming off of 4 games in 5 nights. You're ready. And I love that competitiveness. It's the most competitive basketball you're going to see all year. Um, that's to me, that's what makes the playoffs must see television. But what about for you, man? I mean, do you think the playoffs are still as good as they used to be?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Sometimes the first round you might get a dud because, like I said, you might get just some team that's overmatched and really
Right.
shouldn't be there. But usually after that, it's pretty competitive. Like the atmosphere, the crowd is more into it. They try to have the crowds matching shirts or some kind of slogan shirt or something
Hmm.
like that. It's like you alluded to the intensity and how you're able to game plan and it's just more gravitas. It's just more exciting. more drama. It's,
Right.
it's you really get to see pressure mount up over time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a story. So yeah, I love playoffs, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Also, it's where stars are made, man. I like to see guys have their coming out party. Like last year when Oladipo did his thing against the Cavs, he looked like a freaking star. He was just amazing. Um, so yeah, the playoffs is a platform for everybody to showcase their skills, to make sure that the world knows who they are. All games are nationally televised. It's a beautiful
This
thing, man.
this is why I was arguing against T Mac. I mean, don't get it wrong. He did put up numbers, but like you still got to elevate your game to another level in the playoffs, right?
Hmm.
This is where stars are made. So it's kind of like, man, I don't want to blame him, put it all on him for not having that opportunity or not taking advantage of the opportunity because he did go up 3-1 against the Pistons, 0-3, and choked that away. But that's neither here nor there. Um, but so yeah, man, like you said, that's what separates a Kyrie Irving. That's why he gets held in such high regard because he's a legend in the playoffs. He evaporated the Celtics in the conference finals a couple years ago, and then just a beast against the Warriors every year in the finals with the Cavs. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like
Oh yeah.
Paul George. That's why we for this year he blew up. That's why everybody held him in such high regard. He goes toe to toe with LeBron in the playoffs.
Yeah. Same thing for guys like Rondo, like
Yeah,
LeBron. Those guys elevate their games in the playoffs. It's like a
exactly.
different player. So.
LeBron could coast all year and not give a darn and just be lackluster. But we
Hmm.
know in the playoffs he takes his game to like three other levels.
Yeah.
It's just the levels that others just can't compare with. So we know he has that. So that's why nobody is just so quick to give guys like Giannis the best player of the game title because it's like we know LeBron has another level or two,
Right.
and that's kind of what we're banking on to get us to the playoffs, right? But
Exactly.
I gotta see it, and I want to see it. I need to see it. Damn
Yeah.
it!
He owes it.
Sorry, listeners, I couldn't hold myself.
All right, man. All right, we had a great talk today. Last thing before you go, though, I do have a little trivia for you. And this is All Star 2019 based. I know the past few times I've done trivia with you, they've kind of been awful on my end. So I wanted to
All right.
make sure that this was something that was kind of planned out. So All Star Game 2019 was played on Sunday, February 17th, which was also coincidentally my birthday. Um, I have Team LeBron and I have Team Giannis pulled up. We all know the starters. I want you to name me at least 3 reserves on each side.
All right. So Giannis had Middleton. Um,
Correct.
he had Lowry. Because
Correct.
I remember he picked him last. Uh,
No cheating.
no, I'm not. I'm not. Okay, I'm gonna go over to LeBron. LeBron had Simmons and AD.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Giannis had Dirk and LeBron had Wade.
Wow. That was tough. I was like, oh, okay. I'll give it to you because my next question was going to be who are the special players that Adam Stern picked, but you spoiled it. So you got it.
That was too easy.
I know, right? But yeah, I mean, and I was happy that Adam Silver. I was happy that he did that for D Wade and Dirk because talk about legends, first ballot Hall of Famers. It was good for them to be included, even though this technically isn't Dirk's last year because he hasn't said anything. But good for them. Yeah, he does.
But the jumper was wet in the All-Star game.
Yeah, that he shoots the ball so high, like it's like a rocket. Oh man. All right, guys, that's another awesome episode. I appreciate everybody listening to the Current Era podcast. And something I found out recently is that I actually have listeners in Canada and Tunisia, which is in Africa. Wow. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for subscribing. It means a lot. I'm going to continue to produce content for you guys, so please keep listening. I'm going to try to release episodes every week for you guys. I'm going to have various guests on, like my brother here. And that's it. Javar, got anything you want to say?
The internet is a wonderful thing. Hello, Tunisia. And
It is indeed. All right, guys. Next time.
He's doing, Danny. The
Peace.
bounce, he's going to catch it, put it between his legs, and dunk it.
Oh,
It's over! It's over, ladies and gentlemen!
the judges are coming over the table to congratulate Vince Carter. This is unheard of.
All right. Thanks for listening to another edition of the Current Era Pod. Please remember to rate, like, and subscribe. Please, like I said, leave a review so we can see how we're doing. And please actually download the episode. Like I said before, guys, that'll really help me out. Thank you so much to everybody that listens. I really, really appreciate you guys. Spread the word if you can. And that's it, guys. Have a good day.